I chatted her up. She ignored me a little bit, so I just kept being consistent.
そんなに英語も得意ではなかったので、直前まで会うこともすごくためらっていたし。
Today I invited Misa and Martin, a lovely couple who got married in their 40s after both getting through divorce. I did an interview to them and asked how they met, how they fell in love, and how it's like to be married in Japan, all that kind of stuff. So let's hear their valuable experience. So how did you guys meet?
I met her in a chat room on Facebook, 2017, I think. I chatted her up and she ignored me a little bit, so I just kept being consistent. And then she was in California on her birthday, and that's when I asked to call her. The first words that she ever heard me speak in real time was "Happy birthday to you." So that was the first thing I said to her. I wished her a happy birthday. And in my mind, I was just thinking, I'm just trying to be nice to this beautiful lady. After I got off the phone with her, I just had this overwhelming good feeling about her. And I've never felt that way about anyone I talked to. It was a really good, strong vibe there.
Romantic ne, happy birthday song.
Yeah.
When Marty-san first came to Japan and visited you, that was more like as a friends.
But kind of like a tour guide.
So, okay.
そんなに英語も得意ではなかったので、直前まで会うこともすごくためらっていたし、でもなんとなく会った方がいい予感。
And then after the Hiroshima tour, you guys kept in contact, I guess.
Yeah, we kept in contact for the longest. So we kind of tried to talk to each other every day.
You guys also visited each other during that time.
The next couple of years or so, I came out here rather. She came out there a couple of times. Every year, we visit each other at least once. So we saw each other at least twice. 2 years
2
before?
years?
Yeah.
Almost 3 years.
Yeah, a good 2 or 3 years before I actually moved out here.
When did you propose?
In Chicago, I planned a dinner outing with my few of my close family members and my cousins and stuff. Got some rings and I proposed to her then, and she said, I do.
Nice.
The original plan was for her to come out here, but then when the pandemic started, it kind of just made it easier for me to come out here.
どのタイミングでカップルになるっていう感じにしたんですかね。
初め会った初日は、なんか想像より良かったんですよ。優しいとか、甘えられるとか、でもただ彼がどう思ってるのかとかもわからないし、ある日、Facebook のステータスが、交際中っていうふうに、別に頼んでないタイミングで
面白い。
くれていたことが、私にとっては決め手になったっていうか、なんか全世界になんか私が恋人ですって、お手挙げて発表したように私にはちょっと思えたものですから、それがオフィシャルにお付き合いするっていうきっかけになったかなと。
What are the cultural differences that kind of shocked you guys?
女性と男性の友情の、文化の違い。例えば、やっぱ女友達と写る写真、なんかすごく親密そうな写真、みたいな。
確かに日本人の感覚だとね、肩組んでたりとかしてても、ってなったりとかしますもんね。
まあ、妹さんがね、いらっしゃるから、兄弟間の写真もやきもち焼くぐらい、すごく嫉妬して、ちょっと辛かった時がありますね。
全然外国人の人たちがどういう感じで接してるかとか知らないと、って。
誰でもいいんだとか、私じゃなくてもいいんだとか。
まあでも今はもちろんその辺は解釈が。
そうですね、今はまあ彼も日本に住んでいるので、今のところはないですね。
How do you manage the language gap, language barrier?
When I first met, I keep in mind that English is not her mother tongue, so I let things slip as far as when we met in person, her English was pretty good. It was pretty good. I was so glad that she was able to speak English because I can't speak Japanese. But like when it came to serious topics that we wanted to address and we wanted to make sure that we're clear about things, I definitely used translator in the past to communicate in Japanese to make sure it's clear for her. It's funny because she used some harsh words when we had our first disagreement. I forgot the word, but it was so harsh. I'm like, are you I had to catch myself because I'm like, wait a minute, English is not our first language, so maybe she doesn't mean it this way. So I asked her, what do you mean by this word? And then she said, what she meant. And I'm like, okay. So it was a lot lighter than the word that she was actually using.
Oh,
So those kind of things are what you have to
Mm.
prepare yourself for when you're dealing with someone.
right. But I'm glad that you are not too surprised by those things, understanding that, she's trying to speak English that is not her mother tongue, and then try to understand what she actually means.
Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
mean, for people that's trying to develop a relationship with someone outside of their culture, I would always say keep an open mind. We're so quick to think inside of our box of American standards or Japanese standards or Canadian, wherever you're from, but it's a much larger world outside of your way of thinking, and you just have to always keep that in mind. Yeah.
That's a great advice. You guys are in international marriage. How do you recommend international marriage? Pros and cons.
Well, one of the pros that I mentioned here is variety is a spice of life. So everything stays interesting and it is never really mundane. And what I mean by that is that our relationship is not a typical US relationship, just like hers is not a typical Japanese relationship. When you're dealing with someone outside of your culture, it's always a challenge. From the little things to the largest things. Um, you just stay on your toes, keeping an open mind. Don't be so quick to be so judgmental, I guess. A lot of times it's funny because, at my age that I am now, I take everything a little bit easier because life is short, right? Life is short and you want to enjoy the moments that you have. So even the most serious or the most things that sometimes I used to take seriously, I'm a little lighter with it now because of how short life is. And we only have so much time on the planet. So therefore, enjoy it as much as you can. Even the disagreements, just try to make fun of it and work it out. It'll work itself out. Trust me. It always does. The con is just the long distance relationship. I mean, at the beginning, that thing is tough. It truly is tough. I think I missed her the most was when we were apart. And then when COVID hit, that was the hardest year I ever had, I think, in my life because we were actually married and COVID, we're a couple. And now I can't go to see her and she can't come to see me. So that 1 year was just, I wouldn't say devastating, but it was pretty rough.
なんか、すべてが新しい。
あ
まあ、年齢とかね、割とそういう価値観みたいなものの枠がこうなくなっていく。まあ、例えば40代なら40代なりが考えるような枠みたいなものっていうのが、まあ、取り払えるっていうか、そういうところは良かったかなって。
確かにミサさんはなんかそういうマインドセットがあるというか、いろんなことをチャレンジしてみようとか、理解してみようとか、なんかそういうマインドセットがある方だなと思って、なんかそういう方にはやっぱり国際結婚楽しいですよね。
そうですね。いいと思いますね。
なんか最初に外国人の男性と付き合ってみよう、見たいって考えたきっかけとかって何だったんですか？
日本人男性と結婚経験が私の場合はあるので、やっぱり保守的なところとか、自分のもともと持ってた性格、日本人だからうまくいかなかったのかというふうに、不落ちしたタイミングがあっ て、それが当時習い事として習っていたダンスの先生なんですけど、日本人の方で、私と同じ年だったんですよね。で、なんか結婚式に呼んでくださって、
うん。
行ったところ、アメリカ人男性で、黒人の方だったっていうところで、そこの結婚式に呼ばれた時に、なんて優しいご主人さんなんだろうと思って。
うん。
なんかもう、いっつも彼女の方ずっと見てるし、ご主人さんのなんか思いやりあふれる、いつも彼女の足元を気をつけてって、例えばね、
あ
言ってるとか、いつも彼女のお食事を気にかけているとかだったりとか、そういうのを目の当たりにしたときに、なんかこんな風な人っているんだって衝撃を受けたんですよね。本当にジェントルマンであったし、レディーファーストだったんですよね。で、そういう扱い、私、生まれてこの方、男性に受けたことがないもので、
うん。
なんか羨ましいなとも思ったんですよ。
あ。うん。
一言ではあったんですが、きっかけにはやっぱなりましたね。すごくショックを受けた、いい意味でも、素敵っていうふうに、憧れから始まりましたかね。
で、実際その国際恋愛始めた時とかになんか不安に思ったこととかありましたか？
やっぱまず、英語力が当時、すごい低くて、なんか、会話にはやっぱその当時なってないんですよね。それぐらいの英語力だと。まず、なんかその出会いとか、云々の前に、やっぱり英語どうしようっていうふうに思って不安に思ってました。どちらかというとマイナススタート
うー
だったん
ん。
ですよね。
じゃあ、マーティさんの第一印象、どんな感じでしたか？
会う前は結構しつこい人やなと思って、いうの
すごいパッションが。
の第一印象でした。テキストの場合ね。
じゃあ、そこからどうやってマーティンさんは挽回したんですかね、
ちょっともう忙しい時にそういうメールするのすごく迷惑だから、やめてほしいとか、なんかそういうふうに言ってるタイミングの時もあって、
言ったの？
でもそれをちゃんと守ってくれた人だったっていう。
あ、
ぴったりと来なくなったですよね。
はい。
なんかずるずると、なんて言うんだろうな、ずるずるそれでもいいじゃないみたいな感じの人じゃなくて、ピタって飛ばったから、なんか自分本位の人じゃないのかなとか、それがちょうど日本に来る前の2週間前ぐらいの話なんですけどね。
はいはいはい。ただ、日本に来たタイミングで、きっとマーティさんの方から、
そうそうそうそう、明日日本に入る予定なんだけど、みたいな。
実際に来たっていうところがやっぱり大きかったというか、じゃあ一回会うかという気持
そうです
ちになった。
ね。なんかね、なんか心のどこかで遊ばれるってなんか思ってたんだよね、当時。
ああ、
どうせ利用されるだけなんだろうなとかって
うんうん。
思ってたから、あんまり自分の方から心を開くってことしてなかったんだけど、いっか、一日ぐらい会ってあげても、みたいな感じ。
最初ちょっと拒絶反応みたいなのところはどちらかというとそのミサさん的にちょっと外国人怖いしとかそういうチャラついてる感じの人も多いし自分でストップしていた部分っていうのが大きかったんですかね。その
そうです。
マーティさんが何か悪いことをしたというよりは
うん。
ちょっと自分の中でストッパーがかかっちゃってたみたい
そうです、そ
なと
うです。
ころなんですかね。結構紆余曲折ですね。
そ
スムーズではなかったんです
うです
ね。
ね。
以前は日本人の方とご結婚されていたということですけど、今のマーティさんとの国際結婚と比
うん
べて、どの辺が一番違うなとか思
そう
いますか？
ね。やっぱ隠し事が良くも悪くもできないなと思ってます。国際結婚って。例えば何でもないよっていう日本語。日本人の女性にありがちな何でもないが、マーティさんの場合はそこをきちんと正しく汲み取ってくれる人で、そんなことないだろうみたいな、その顔を見たらわかるよみたいな、目見ればなんか何かあったって書いてやるじゃないかみたいな。その日本人同士であれば、どちらかっていうと、良くも悪くも、その距離感をやっぱ感じるんですよね。隠し事があるとかないとかそういうことではなく、何か見えない壁みたいなものがあって、その壁を隔ててそれを壊していくことがお互いできない
う
何かがあっ
ん。
て、一番近しい人であるべきはずなのに、一番遠い人である感じがする、心理的に。 そこがすごくなんかこう日本人同士のね、結婚生活と今と比べてやっぱ違うところかなって思います。
なんか
だから
近い人ほど気使って何も言わないみたいな。
そうなんですよね。なんかやっぱりこれまあ文化だと思うんだけど、やっぱり男を立てるっていうような言葉だったりとか、そういうこう無意識で植え付けられてる、そういう価値観みたいなものがやっぱりどこかにあるから、やっぱりその自分個人の考えというよりも、やっぱここは旦那さんを立てて、ちょっと一歩下がらないとダメだよねっていう、個人の考え以前のそういうものってやっぱり夫婦間でもあったなっていうふうに思っていて、国際結婚は人と人の結びつきをすごくこう試されているっていうか、そういうふうにも感じますね。
こう遠慮しちゃったりとかして、あとまあ女性特有のちょっと感情的になっちゃう部分とかもあったりするんだと思うんですけど、言っちゃいますよね。いや、いいよ、もう何でもないよみたいな。
なんかね、
そこをちょっと頑張って、いやいやいや、ちょっと話そうよってやってくれるのは確かありがたいですよね。
そうです
うん。
ね。
まあ、ミサさん最近いろんなね、あの、他の女性にもアドバイスを送ったりする立場でいらっしゃいますけども、こう、全体的に40代の女性、国際恋愛事情ってどんな感じだと思っていますか？
自分もそうだった40代前半の頃に、やっぱり思っていたのが、
うん。
世界をもっと知りたくなる時っていうか、大きい言い方したら、
うん。
日本という国の小ささや、まあ、自分という存在の小ささ、なんかまだまだ知らないことが世間にはあるんだっていうような、なんか一通りね、こう社会人になって、まあ仕事も経験して、まあある程度少しこうね、若い人に比べて、いろいろな経験がやっぱりちょっと積まれている年代かなと思うんですよね。
うん。うん。
で、まあ、日本のみならず、世界にちょっと目を向けていきたくなる。例えばボランティアをして、ちょっとこう留学生の方のサポートをしてみたいなとかだったりとか、道でね、迷ってる外国人の方に、道案内でもなんかすることができたら、すごいかっこいいんじゃないかとか、人生の中の価値観が、日本人とか日本とか、自分が住んでる場所とか地域とかではなくて、何か他の、なんかこう、海外の情勢とか、海外の、まあ、例えば子供さんかもしれないし、それが、なんかそういうところにちょっとこう、興味が出てくるのが、やっぱり40代かなと思っていて、外国人男性との、まあ、リレーションシップも、どちらかっていうと、外見よりも、やっぱり内面のところで、なんかすごく、ジェントルマンな方っていうのかな、
うん。
応用力のある方っていうのかな。なんかそういう風な方をやっぱ40代の女性っていうのは求めてるんじゃないかなって思います。
結構
うん、
若い世代だと割と見た目にかなりの比重
そう
が
やっ
置かれ
ぱり
る
ぶっちゃけあるんですよね。
ますよね。
それが間違ってるとか悪いとかそういうことではないんだけど、また40代からやっぱりこうできれば自分の人生をちょっとここからね、振り返って、やっぱりこう最後にどんな死に方したいかみたいな。そういうのもやっぱり、なんか考え始めるんですよね。このままでいいのかなとか。なので、やっぱりそうですね。やっぱり外見もまあもちろん中にはね、いらっしゃるかもしれませんけど、根本にあるのはそういうところじゃないかなと思う。
う
心か
ん。
ら通じ合える、心からその信頼し合えるとか尊敬し合えるっていう風な、ライフパートナーを探してるっていう風な感じに見えますね。
You said you joined a Facebook group that are more like なんか Asian Black community.
That was specifically for black men to meet Asian women.
What made you interested in, Japan or dating Japanese women in general?
I don't know. I was at a point in my life after my divorce. I just wanted to try something different that I never thought of before. I knew I wanted to travel outside of my country, and the idea just struck me. Why not get into a relationship? Because I saw how technology was advancing. I'm like, this LDR thing, I could partake in that. So those two things meeting up, I kept an open mind to try to meet someone outside of my country. So I really was just trying to think outside of the box and do something different. I was married to a woman, uh, a black woman for what? I think we were married for like 8 or 9 years.
You wanted to start something new, wanted to be open-minded, and then you found Misa-san, then started to search for like Japanese culture, learning. Seems like Misa-san was at that point, like, wanting to be open-minded, wanted to try to something new kind of situation. So
Yeah,
I
like
guess
a
that
perfect
matched.
storm of two people thinking the same way. Yeah.
That's interesting. Well, what did you do to attract Misa-san, to get Misa-san?
I would like to say it's my good looks and charm, but
That definitely helped.
I see. I like. I'm gonna give you a humble answer though. I guess it was my authenticity. I like to be authentic. I like to be real with a person, and I just told her, I'm really into you. I told her about my feelings, like how I expressed just now. I mean, earlier in the interview, how I just had this overwhelming feeling like I had to meet you. I don't know why, but it was just a strong feeling like I had to meet her.
But I think singing a birthday song to Misa-san really worked.
You think so?
I think so. It's different. It's unique.
Yeah. And I promise you, that wasn't even part of anything. I just looked at her like, oh, wow, it's her birthday. I have to say happy birthday to her.
I think Misa-san told earlier, but how did you navigate the situation to be exclusive? Misa-san told me that you changed your Facebook status to be in a relationship with Misa, and then that's when she found out that, oh, I guess we are now exclusive.
Good. I changed it after she met my family. I specifically told her that. I said, after you meet my family and we exchange rings, then that's when it's official. See, that's what I mean. The communication has to be clear. Right?
Yeah, I think in general, Japanese people care about the status and the label that you put on.
Yeah.
And that's, I think she was wondering. And then maybe you didn't really think about it and put the relationship label, but I guess that meant a lot for Misa-san.
Right. Because like I said, like I told you earlier, in my mind, after she met my family, that was it. I was sold on her. I'm like, okay, I will take it from this day forward. I will take it to the next level. And part of that was not, oh, let me change my Facebook status. You get what I'm saying? We don't think that way. At least I don't. I can't talk for all Americans. I can just talk for myself, but at least I don't attach myself to that social media status thing.
It's not really about social media, but how official you are.
Okay.
Like, you are in a relationship, or is it like something that's not put the label on and then just casual thing?
Okay. Did
Jo-
he change his status officially on a day that you guys got engaged or married, that kind of thing?
so.
Another cultural shock, right? Another cultural shock. But
This is something my viewers are really curious about, so let me just ask you. But as a black man, do you find any difficulties dating or marriage in Japan?
I actually never thought about it being difficult being a black guy out here. I think because of the origins of when I started in a black and Asian group.
No.
So it never crossed my mind that it would be any racism or prejudice or anything like that. But once I got here to where we are in Hiroshima, then I started noticing a little bit, but not racism. It's more like curiosity, just stares. I don't know if it's just me or what, but I just catch a vibration. If the vibration is just off and it feels wrong or scary or threatening or something like that, then I will, change my location. I've never felt that out here in Japan. That's what I was telling my wife. Like, that's the big difference because in America, I've been in situations, rooms, areas where I didn't feel safe. And I'm not talking about Black areas. I'm talking about other culture areas and stuff like that. I say in Japan, I never felt that. So even with the looks and stuff like that, it's more of curiosity or he's not Japanese versus, oh, he's Black. So yeah, it never crossed my mind.
For those who want to find love with Japanese women, what would you advise?
Learn the culture. Just like you just talked about, your husband been out here for 8 years. I've been out here for almost 3 years now. And I still don't know enough. Learn the culture, learn the ins and out of the culture. Understand that the world doesn't revolve around your culture. And be acceptable to change. Be genuine. And if you don't actually like the person, move on. But if you actually genuinely like the person, let her know. Be upfront and just be clear with your communication. And whatever, like I said, learn the culture.
They were both in a turning point in their lives and looking for a new experience outside of their cultures. Maybe it didn't go so smooth, but as you can see, they enjoy the cultural difference and never stop learning from each other, and I think that leads to the great relationship. Please subscribe to my channel for more Japan content with no bullshit. I will see you in the next video. Bye!